All right, so you're thinking about running a Facebook ad for your contract or home service based business. And even though you see ads all the time on your feed, you're probably thinking, I have no idea how to create one. Like, where do I start? Well, in this video, I'm going to break it down for you. Now, rather than get into all the technical business page setup, ad account setup, and the behind the scenes ad creation, I want to talk about the anatomy of an ad itself on Facebook. So there's really only 5 parts to a Facebook ad that you need to get to know so that you can create a successful ad for your business. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail over each section, but I do want to go over the different parts so that at least you can see what the anatomy of a Facebook ad is, so that not only can you create one, but you'll know what kind of tweaks to make based on those different parts. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first and I would say most important part is the visual. Okay, it's the photo or the video you're using on your ad. Now, the reason I say that is because if you think about yourself scrolling, right? You're on your phone and you're scrolling through your news feed, and you don't really have enough time to read every headline, and you certainly don't have enough time to read the actual primary text on the ad. What you're really looking at is the visuals, and you're waiting for something to catch your eye, right? So the photo or the video you're using that's going to be the thing that stops your scroll. And if nobody stops to actually take a look at your ad, then you really don't have an ad that exists. It's kind of like the whole, if a tree falls in a forest and no one's around to hear it, did it actually make a sound? So getting people to stop the scroll is going to be the first step to get them to actually see your ad. So the second most important part is going to be the headline. And the reason I say that is because imagine you finally stop the scroll and you're looking at a picture or a video. The first thing you're going to think is, okay, what is the context here? What am I looking at and why? And the headline's also going to have font that's a little bit bigger than the rest of the text on your ad. So visually, it's going to be the second most notable thing. Now, you're going to want the headline to be something that piques curiosity, creates a little bit of mystery, or clarifies something that's going on in the picture. Really, the point of the headline is to get them to read the first sentence in the primary text area. And that brings us to the third part, which is your primary text or ad copy. So this is where you're going to type out any information that's relevant to your ad. Now, if you have a video as an ad, a lot of that context is going to be in the video itself. So you don't really need as long of ad copy as you would if you had a photo. So if you got a photo for your visual, then you're probably going to have a little bit longer description, right? You're going to have more text because there's less context with the photo. So the primary text is really going to be where you are delivering your message. Now, the fourth part is going to be a little bit less visual, and it's going to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, like mental, and that's going to be your offer. Okay, so as they're reading your ad copy, the primary text, they're trying to figure out, okay, what is this person offering me? Okay. Now, obviously, you're creating an ad because you have a service or a product that you're trying to sell. So creating an offer that is appealing is part of the whole ad creation process, right? The whole reason you have the ad is to attract them to your offer. So creating a clear and easy to understand offer is usually where a lot of people kind of have trouble, right? Because you can find an image that'll stop the scroll. It's easy to come up with a headline that can create some curiosity. And then obviously you can write just about anything you want in the actual primary text area, but creating an offer that gets people to want to click is really the game. Because you can have a really cool visual that stops the scroll, but if people don't understand what your service or your product is about because you have a weak offer, then you're really just wasting money on the ad. Now, the last part is your call to action. And that is the direction that you give the person seeing your ad and what next step to take in order to have your offer fulfilled. So in other words, let's say someone's reading your ad and you have a really good offer and they're like, man, I want this service or I want this product, but you don't tell them what to do next. You don't tell them what website link to go to or what form to fill out. And they're just left sitting there like, well, I want to buy this, but I don't know where to go or what to do. That's what the call to action is for. And those 5 parts pretty much make up the anatomy of a Facebook ad. Now, knowing how to create a business page, an ad account, and going into the back of the ads manager and actually creating the ad is a different story. But at least you have an idea as to what you should be aiming for when creating a Facebook ad so that you can create something that will bring in customers and hopefully connect you with people that might be interested in your product or service. So if this was helpful, definitely think about subscribing. I will be creating videos on each of these sections going into more depth, but at least now you have a basic understanding, and hopefully you can get an ad up and running in the near future. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.